Even though passenger trains disappeared from South Dakota in the 50s, you can still catch a ride on one, if only but once a year. Vernon Brown reports on the sights and sounds of last weekend's 6th annual Milbank Train Fest.
Passenger trains used to be the best form of transportation in our nation's younger days. But today's fast-paced and technological world has raised more than a generation of people who have never ridden in a train. Some Milbank residents are trying to change that.
Train Fest started 6 years ago as kind of a salute to the railroads, kind of a way to say thank you for all the things you've done for Milbank and South Dakota and all over. And we started right out with train rides all the way to Corona, so we've been very fortunate in that sense.
This year's Train Fest gave about 2,000 people a chance to ride the rails of the Whetstone Valley Express. That's near maximum capacity for them, so they're looking for ways to expand.
Oh, we're looking for cars all the time now. I did point out to the people when we went by the Assistant to Milbank headquarters that we do own another car. It's a combination coach and Railway Express post office, but it only seats 20 people, so we're working on that one too. And
the growing numbers of people coming to Milbank's Train Fest is proof that the rails draw a crowd. Young and old come from all over to make the 2.5-hour trip to Corona or the shorter 1-hour ride. But what is it that attracts them?
You know, I've been asked that many times. I was talking to a gentleman on the first trip, and he said that this was his first ride on the train, and he could already feel whatever it is about it when you get on a train. What I think it is, now I've rode trains all my life, so I think it's the closeness of meeting the people. You're not going 200-300 miles an hour, and nobody seems to be in a hurry. Let's face it, when you're on a train, Amtrak maybe goes about 79 miles an hour, but when you're riding with us, you're going 10 or 15 miles an hour. You get to know the people all the way up and all the way back.
For some, the draw is the memories they have of younger days in passenger trains.
Reminds me back in the years when I rode a troop train back in World War II.
Others are there for a first-time experience.
I think it's really fun. I haven't ridden one before, so it's a new experience. It's noisy. I didn't realize it was so bumpy, but it was really fun.
Conductor Neil Bogus, who most Milbank residents credit for the Whetstone Valley Express success, the tracks have always been an attraction because it's been his family's livelihood.
Grandfather had 12 brothers, and every one of those brothers worked for the Milwaukee Road, and my dad and my brother also both worked for the Sioux Line and the Burlington Northern Railroads. I'm the only one that has not worked a day for the railroad other than on the Whetstone Valley Express.
Bogus spends 6 to 7 hours a week preparing for the event, but when it comes close to the time of the Train Fest, his hobby turns into a job with preparations and federal inspections. But it all pays off when he sees the faces of his passengers.
As you can see, when they're walking around, they're having a good time. They like to talk to people, and that's what I do. I get a good feeling out of it. None of us get paid for it. We just enjoy doing it.
The ride to Corona isn't exactly smooth, even though the big engine pulls the two cars along at only 10 miles an hour. But the passengers aren't here because they're in a hurry.
So calming. It's relaxing, and you get to see all the wildflowers. It's just a really pretty scenery. I really liked it.
The train pulls through hills and valleys, chugging along at a steady pace until...
All right, where's the money? I don't know. Ho! Give me the money, kid. Get here!
Guns, horses, and thieves all play an important role in the Whetstone Valley Express. The train robbery gives passengers a sense of what it must have been like taming the Wild West. Another part of the trip is the mobile U.S. Post Office. The Whetstone Valley Express had the only operating railway post office in the nation for 2 days. It's lots of history, lots of time to think.
I think about the old times, the pioneers, our forefathers, when they first come into this country, what this country first looked like, barren plains, with just this ribbon rail going down the prairies, and wondering what type of things they saw then.
It's that kind of reflection on the past Bogus hopes all passengers get from the ride. It's that kind of enthusiasm that makes his work rewarding.
They all kind of expressed the same thought. They had just a super great time, you know. Most of them have never been on a train before, and if they have, it was 30, 40 years ago. Some guys were on troop trains that went through South Dakota, and they haven't been on trains since then. So this brings back, for the old people, it's a lot of nostalgia, and for the middle-aged people, it's kind of, I remember the trains, and for the young kids, it's the first trip.
The Train Fest runs 11 trips, one after another, with little time for a break. But Bogus says he doesn't mind the tight schedule. After all, that's the life of a conductor.
Thanks for riding.
Vernon Brown reporting for 30.
Thank you for riding.